he is breaking out for the New York Jets, and it's not the guy in this picture that you think he is. There's a player that reports are now pointing to as taking over for a starting role on the New York Jets on the defense that is still up for grabs. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Jets Digest. Before we hop into the video for today, only 39.8% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. So if you are not subscribed, please take a second, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. But hopping into the video that we have for today, coming from the Jet Press, talking about Jamin Davis, a rookie, or not a rookie, but a free agent pickup from last season. Davis now finds himself competing with the likes of Marcelino McCrary-Ball, rookie Francisco Mauigoa, and Zaire Barnes for the third linebacker job. The third starting linebacker job, I may add. McCrary-Ball seemed like the early favorite, but Saturday's game changed that narrative. Davis finished as the Jets' highest graded defender per PFF, logging a sack and a run stop with no missed tackles and 0 targets in coverage. More importantly, he was the only linebacker, along with Williams and Sherwood, to work with the starting defense. The Jets clearly view Davis as the front runner for the job, and his performance on Saturday likely only strengthened his case. There's a strong possibility that Davis plays a sizable role on the Jets defense in 2025, especially given how frequently Aaron Glenn used 3 linebackers in Detroit. So Jamin Davis is breaking out for this team. We saw him against the Green Bay Packers. He had a pretty good game. You may be asking, what position does Jamin Davis play? And we'll bring up the New York Jets defensive depth chart to answer that question. We can see him currently, according to ESPN, slotted as the New York Jets second string WLB, which stands for will linebacker, weak side linebacker. The strong side linebacker, Quinnen Williams, is more, he is responsible for doing stuff closer to the line of scrimmage, like stuffing runs or blitzing the quarterback, where our weak side is going to be dropping into coverage more, playing more defense, and is usually the more athletic player. Currently, ESPN has Marcelino McCrary-Ball as our number 1 will linebacker. I was extremely surprised to see this because every single report that we are collecting from training camp has talked about how Jamin Davis has looked amazing, and people are getting very, very excited about this player breaking out and becoming something more than we were expecting when he was signed. He was signed by Phil Savage, our interim GM, one of the few moves that he did make for this football team before he was replaced by Darren Mougey. But what's exciting about Jamin Davis is he isn't actually an first round pick. He was picked in the first round by the Washington Commanders, then went to the Minnesota Vikings, was not able to work out with either spot. One of the problems was he was put in as the Mike linebacker in his first spot, where he's an outside linebacker. He didn't fit very well in that role as the starting linebacker, or as the starting middle linebacker for a team. He's an outside linebacker, which is why we will be moving him to that position. The reason why he went in the first round was because he has very good traits. That's what puts you up in the first round. Pretty much every coaching staff in the NFL is a little bit overconfident in their ability to draft and develop players. So they want to make sure that in the first round and with their earlier picks, they're taking players who have unteachable things like size, speed. Jamin Davis is a very athletic player. Coaches realize that they can't teach the athleticism that Jamin Davis brings to the table, but they look at him and go, maybe he's not the best coverage linebacker, or maybe he's not good at this or that, but we can coach him that. We can teach him that. We can't make him faster. We can't make him bigger. So Jamin Davis, being a first round pick, we know he brings those traits to the table. We know he is someone who, should he be able to hit his upside and have a good season this year, he could turn into something that, I'm not going to say no one expected, but he could turn into something that a massive majority of people are not expecting him to turn into. This is following the trend that Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey are doing. They are making sure that they go out and sign players with low risk and potentially high reward. This is what they're doing with all across the all season. They are signing guys that the cap hit does not hit us long term, but they are guys that potentially, if they play very, very well, they could be guys that are going to stick around for a very long time. Now, the article also mentioned how he is in linebacker battle with Francisco Mauigoa as well. Mauigoa is labeled as a middle linebacker by ESPN. I tend to agree with ESPN's projection of Mauigoa as a middle linebacker. If we were watching his film, he feels more like a middle linebacker. He's a little bit stockier. He's a bigger dude. He feels like, I wish, and I understand, I know that's not the best analyzation in the world. I know saying he feels like a middle linebacker isn't the most helpful thing for anyone to hear, but believe me when I say Francis Mauigoa just feels like a middle linebacker. I would definitely expect him to stay at the Mike linebacker, our middle linebacker position. I would expect Marcelino McCrary-Ball and Jamin Davis to be the two guys battling it out for that outside, that weak side, specifically outside linebacker, final starting position. Still exciting because most of the starting roles on this New York Jets team have been filled. This weak side linebacker is one of the few roles that has not been finished yet. But of course, one thing that has to be noted, just a little short thing, of course, that Sam linebacker, the strong side linebacker, Quinnen Williams, he is going absolutely nowhere. He fits that role perfectly, especially with our new defensive coordinator, Stephen Wilkes. He is going to be blitzing a ton. He fits perfectly. Do not think for a question. Do not think for a second. I better not see any comments under this video asking if Jamon Davis should be moved to the strong side linebacker. Quinnen Williams is going nowhere. I've been seeing a little bit too many comments about talking about why Quinnen Williams should not be, doing this, doing that. Quinnen Williams, okay, let's just get into it. Quinnen Williams deserves all the money he's making. Of course, he deserves the raise that he got. We gotta take a look at this comment here. I gotta know if I know I'm not crazy. I had to take a comment here. Joseph Patterson here, long time fan of the channel. I gotta shout him out in a video a little bit, especially when you're gonna come with a crazy comment like this. He's trying to tell me that quarterback is not the most important position on the field. And please, if people are still watching at this point in the video, please tell me who is right on this. So I'm just going to read his comment here. He talked about how 60% of quarterbacks are scrubs. He can list them if you like. As good as Brady was, he got better after his knee injury. After that, you couldn't come near him. Talking about how the referees defended Tom Brady. I think Newton, who was a complete not liked by the refs, was dragged around like a rag doll. Cousins is trash, got paid $30 million. The Jets almost paid him. I could go on. I'm not trying to fight with you, but every time I hear it being quarterback is the most important position on the football field, it makes my blood boil. Cornerback, defensive end, elite wide receiver are much more important. I honestly, every time this conversation that we're having, I cannot even comprehend this. I feel like it's just a known fact that quarterback is the most important position in the game of football. I love pushing against societal norms and being like, but why do we do this thing? Or why do we say this? Why do we say that the quarterback is the most important position? It's because he is. It is the reason why 60% of them look like scrubs is because it is so hard to play quarterback. And we don't realize how good Patrick Mahomes, how good Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, we don't understand how difficult it is to play at the level that they're playing. That's why, we got to remember these terrible quarterbacks, just throwing out some really bad quarterbacks, like Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was a superstar in high school, a superstar in college, gets to the NFL, is complete garbage. I'm telling you, please let me know in the comments. I'm sure Joseph is going to be in the comments. Whose side are we on? Quarterback, most important position on the football field, yes or no? But that's what I got for this video. We're going back to, full screen for some reason. But if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and go Jets.